In the Enlightenment, the idea that Europe had basically been responsible for everything positive in the entire human story, as ridiculous as that may seem to us now living in the 21st century, with the return of Chinese power, with the Indian mission to Mars, with all of these things that are going on, and it's clear how much the world is changing before us, it should be fairly obvious to anyone with half a brain that no one group of humans is responsible for everything wonderful that's ever happened, or all of scientific progress, or all philosophy. But 100 years ago, 150 years ago, that was considered a hard scientific idea, considered so normal that very few people even questioned that. And those European scholars which did question it, I could name some of them, probably no one in this room's heard of them. Have you ever heard of a man called Gerald Massey? He spent 36 years of his life writing a companion to Darwin's theory of evolution, working class white Englishman who taught himself to read, brilliant scholar, spent 36 years of his life writing a companion that tried to prove that not only humanity evolved out of Africa physically, but also culturally, spiritually, philosophically. He literally wrote 6 volumes. I have them on my shelves like that. Even though he was an Englishman, the only people today that read or publish his books are crazy Afrocentric black people. So it's very funny. I'm going to continue with that. So the human story is not the monopoly of one particular group of people. And even though the ancient Greeks, this has been one of the controversial areas, a scholar called Martin Bernal from Cambridge wrote a book called Black Athena in the 80s, which received a lot of attention, a lot of criticism, a furor around the book, partly because he was a Cambridge-educated scholar, partly because of who his family were. His granddad was an Egyptologist. But nonetheless, some people might feel that he overstated the case of Egypt's influence on Greece, but the Greeks themselves said, yeah, some of us went to study in Egypt, no big deal.